Hello students, this is Mrs. Crumpton, and your lesson today is going to be from section 7, 1A of your Glencoe McGraw-Hill Math Connects book. The lesson is titled Angle Measure. Your learning target, I can measure and draw angles. You have a new vocabulary term from this section. The vocabulary term is degrees, and degrees is a unit of measure for angles. And today we're going to talk about how to use a protractor. This is a protractor. Students typically get a compass and a protractor mixed up, and I used to have the same problem. This is your compass. No, it's not. This is your protractor. And this is what we're going to use to measure angles. So watch me closely. It's fairly easy to do, and you'll have some problems to do without me. There is a little notch in this protractor. I don't know if you can see it from the video or not. And in your protractors that you'll be using, there's something similar, but there's a little notch right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on something called the vertex. The vertex is where the two lines meet to form the angle. And we're going to learn more about vertices and angles and what everything's called as we go. So I'm going to take that little notch and I'm going to put it right here where the angles meet. Now I'm also going to make sure that I've got my line or my protractor lined up here on this part of the angle, the bottom leg of the angle we'll call it. And I'm going to look at where this line crosses the protractor. Okay? Now I'm measuring from here to here, and this angle is almost a 90-degree angle, because this side measures from 0 to 90. Since the angle is opening this direction, I read from this direction. So what I've got here is almost a 90-degree angle. Let's measure the second one now. I'll write the angle measure for this one in here for you. Now there's a little symbol that we use if we have a 90-degree angle. We put this little square in the corner, and that tells us, reminds ourselves, and it tells others that I know that this is a 90-degree angle. And you write that 90 degrees like that with this little circle thing at the top. Okay? Now to measure the second angle, same process. Take this little notch, put it here on the vertex. I'm going to line up my protractor, and this angle is measuring from this direction, so I start at 0. And I come around to where this crosses. This angle is somewhere between 110 and 120. I'm going to call that about 118. So our angle here is 118 degrees. Now we're going to learn the name of a big angle like this too very soon. And last, I have this angle. I'm going to put my protractor, this little notch right here, line it up on the bottom. Now I'm going to follow my angle, 0 to, that's just a little over 50 degrees. I'm going to call that about 52 degrees. And that's how you use a protractor. Now I'm going to show you one other angle in just a minute, just so you know how to measure in case your angle is not turned the way these are. So I'm going to pause the video, let you jot down a few notes, and then I'll come right back with one more angle for you to measure. Students, we're back now with an angle turned the opposite direction of how the others were. So I'm going to take this little line and I'm going to line up my protractor at the vertex. I'm going to get the line here lined up on my protractor. And I'm going to measure, this time the numbers, there's numbers across the top that go from 0 to 180 going this direction. So since my angle is opening this direction this time, I'm going to use those top numbers to find the angle measure. Okay, hold it on there. how to measure angles. This time we're going to draw an angle. Now I'm going to draw an angle following my directions here. It says use a protractor to draw an angle measuring 40 degrees. Now I'm going to use the back side of this. I want you to notice there are no numbers on here. There's not really, unless it in the directions tells you how long to make your bottom part. There's no correct way or no correct length, again, unless it tells you. So I'm going to give myself, I'm going to call it a base. And sketch a line across here. And it tells me to draw an angle measuring 40 degrees. Alright, so I'm going to take my protractor, and it doesn't matter whether you make your angle, your vertex on this end or on this end. And I'll do one each way so you can see both. Right, I'm going to take my little notch here in my protractor, and I'm going to line it up here at this point on this segment that I've got drawn. Now I'm going to come over to 40 degrees. My angle is going to be opening this way, so my 40 degrees is right here. So I've made myself a reference point. I'm going to take the back side again of my protractor, and I'm going to try my best to line this up. This is what's going to be the vertex, and I'm going to draw my angle. Now I'm going to measure it to see if I'm pretty close. It's kind of hard to draw this up here on the board. Here I go measuring to see if I have a 40-degree angle. I didn't do too bad. So there you go. Here's our 40-degree angle. Now I'm going to draw one from the other direction. Again, I need some kind of base so I can draw my angle. Now this time I'm measuring this direction. I'm going to put my protractor down at the notch where the vertex is going to be. Here is my 40-degree mark. And make myself a reference point there. There's my protractor around. Connect what's going to be my vertex to that reference point. It'll be just a slight bit off, I think. I'm going to take my protractor and measure. Ooh, I am more than a slight bit. Well, no, it's not too bad. And there I have, it's almost a 40-degree angle, so I didn't quite hit what I needed to there. That one's actually about 38 degrees. So you can, the good news is you can always erase it and retry. That's all for this lesson, students. Now there are some problems in your textbook that I would like for you to try. The work comes from page 395. This will serve as a formative assessment that will be graded. So your formative assessment on page 395 is problems 1 through 12. Okay, kids, get this work done and I'll see you in class. I have some protractors that you can use, by the way. Thanks.